If you haven't already subscribed, be sure to click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified of more movie-related videos. Thank you. Hey guys, it's that guy with movies back here again, and today's video is going to be a review video. I haven't done one of these singular reviews since Avengers Endgame came out a little over a year ago, so I haven't done one of these in a little while, but this review is going to be on Tenet. Yes, I did see Tenet. It doesn't come out in the US until next week, but today, or I guess you could say Thursday, or yesterday if you count Thursday showings, it did come out in a whole bunch of other countries, including Canada, so I'm going to be doing my spoiler-free review on Tenet here. So, like I said, no spoilers in this video whatsoever. You are free to watch this, and yeah, no spoilers. So I'm going to go over the plot first, and then I will go on to, I guess, the more kind of technical aspects, which includes like the acting, the cinematography, and the story, and everything like that. So, the plot synopsis here. Basically, John David Washington, if you guys don't know who he is, or if you haven't seen BlacKkKlansman, or if you've seen him in BlacKkKlansman, but you don't really quite know who he is Denzel Washington's son. So that is a pretty cool little fact right there, and he's actually a pretty good actor. But we will get to that in a little bit here. But basically, he plays the CIA operative. He's not given a name. He's just basically a guy, pretty much. Just basically called the protagonist in the movie. And he's tasked, technically he's recruited into this organization called Tenet. It's really mysterious. Not a whole lot of people know like what they do or what they're all about, but he's recruited into Tenet to help stop this Russian oligarch from basically starting World War III. And the thing they have to, try and master and try and, use against this Russian oligarch here is time inversion and time travel and that. And it's kind of confusing and it's a little long-winded, but I think if you guys watch this one or like rewatch this, I think you'll probably understand it a little bit more. So that's kind of the plot synopsis of this one. It's basically they got to stop this Russian oligarch from starting World War III by using time inversion basically and like time travel. But yeah. So let's move on to the technical aspects of this movie. So what I thought of everything else pretty much. So actually we'll start with the story since this is kind of my main gripe with this movie. And yes, like I said before, it is definitely a very, very complicated movie. Probably Christopher Nolan's most confusing movie by far. Like if you guys thought Inception or Memento were really confusing, then if you guys watch Tenet, you probably will not understand this on your first initial watch, but I think you may come to understand it a little bit more and kind of catch things that you didn't already catch the first time. Once you do a second viewing or a rewatch, this is one of those movies that is basically made to be rewatched, but yeah, it is a very, very confusing movie. Like I said, if you thought Inception was really confusing and hard to follow because of the whole dreams within dreams thing, or if you thought Memento was really confusing with its kind of backwards narrative, then I think you will probably not understand Tenet because it's a very confusing story that's got a whole bunch of parts in it. But yeah, like I said, it is a movie that is meant for multiple watches. So that's kind of my thoughts on the story. It's kind of a pro because it's a pretty smartly written story. It's definitely original. It's not something that I personally have seen done before. But it's also a con on the other hand because it is extremely hard to follow and very convoluted. And it only gets more convoluted as it kind of goes on in the movie, kind of, moves along its 2.5-hour runtime, which, by the way, I thought was a little bit too long for this movie. I know Christopher Nolan usually likes to make long movies like Interstellar and the Dark Knight Rises. Those clocked in at around 3 hours each. And then also the first Dark Knight movie clocked in at about the same runtime as, well, actually, technically, the first Dark Knight movie and Inception clocked in at about the same time as this movie does. So he does like to make long movies, but this one definitely did not need to be as long as it was. But yeah, running time was a little bit of an issue. Kind of some slow and kind of awkward pacing for me. I thought there would be a whole lot more action in this movie, but what we did get in here was actually really good. I really enjoyed the action in this movie. It felt epic, it felt blockbuster-ish, and just overall, it felt really big budget. And I just overall, really enjoyed seeing these action scenes in the theater. And now we'll get on to the acting now, and the acting is pretty much good all across the board here. You've got John David Washington, who I talked about in the plot synopsis. He is a really good actor, and I actually would not mind seeing more of him, because he was in Black Klansman, and he's in this movie now, and he is great in both of these movies, and I really wish he gets a lot of roles in movies that are coming up here, because he definitely is a pretty good actor, as well as Robert Pattinson, who's kind of come into his own now. Like, he's kind of shed this, Twilight pretty boy kind of stereotype, and now he's come into his own as a really good actor. He's really solid in Good Time. I didn't really care for Good Time as a movie, but he was really good in that movie, plus The Lighthouse, which is a movie I did not like, and he was also really good in that, and I'm really excited to see him in Batman. I wasn't sure of him when he first got casted as, Bruce Wayne or Batman, but I'm really excited to see him, and I definitely think that maybe he could pass Christian Bale as probably the best live-action Batman that we've got. I don't know, it's just my opinion. It's pure speculation, but I really think that he's going to do a good job as Batman here. And likewise, he's actually really good here. He's not... Well, I guess he is in it a fair amount, but he's also really good in this one. And a lot of the other acting is also, really, really good in this movie, which is one thing that Christopher Nolan can get out of a lot of his actors, is a really good performance. So I really like that aspect of it. As well as the cinematography. I really enjoy the cinematography here. I think this is going to be a really good 4K Blu-ray once it eventually comes out. It'll look really good. A lot of Christopher Nolan movies do have, that really good cinematography. I didn't see this one in IMAX, so I didn't actually get like the full aspect ratio. I'm sure it'll probably be included on the actual Blu-ray. From what I can remember, I don't really know if this was fully shot in IMAX or just certain scenes, but those will most likely be included on the Blu-ray, like Dunkirk and Dark Knight Rises, and that. Those will most likely be included on the home media release, but I didn't see this in IMAX, so I don't really know what to, think of the scenes in that ratio, but this does definitely have some really good, scenic views of, different countries, and it's just overall a really nice looking movie, and it'll probably look really good once it comes to 4K Blu-ray, which I'll be definitely picking this movie up on. But let's get on to some cons now. So a lot of, the action, the acting, and, kind of half the story is, some pros of this movie, but let's get on to the cons now, which is the biggest one is, like I said, the story, like half of it kind of, because like I said, once the movie kind of, starts to end, it goes a little long-winded and gets very convoluted, and, you probably will not understand this on your initial viewing once you, go see this movie once it comes out next week. But another big issue of this movie, another, big con of this is the sound mixing. Christopher Nolan is known for doing this in his other movies. You couldn't really understand what was being said in both Dunkirk and Interstellar. And once again, he does this bad sound mixing. I don't know what he's doing with this. Like, the dialogue is almost kind of whisper quiet in these, or you can't really understand them, or they're muffled. And all the action is just, like, so loud. Like, it's just, like, boom, 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 boom. And then, like, once it comes to the dialogue scenes, it's just, like that. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know why Christopher Nolan does this. And, yeah, like, it's just really weird sound mixing. And that was actually one thing that I noticed in this as well. Like, it was a very loud movie in the theater here. Very loud. Probably one of the loudest AVX experiences that I've ever been to. But yeah, just weird sound mixing, kind of a very convoluted story, and another thing was the music. I thought the music was a little bit too intrusive in this. I didn't like it as much as some of the other music that Christopher Nolan movies have. Like, I don't think he has Hans Zimmer doing the score for this one, because he's done a lot of really great music for, The Dark Knight and Inception and Interstellar, and just such great tracks, classic tracks. This one, I don't know if this one will be remembered, to be honest. That's just my opinion, though. I didn't really care for this music. I thought it was a little too intrusive, and I just couldn't really hear, the dialogue, what was being said. It's very exposition heavy, and just overall, I just didn't really care for the music. But, yeah, it's kind of perfectly balanced, the pros and cons of this movie. But overall, like I said before, like 100 million times, it's a convoluted story, but it has it's got great action, and it's got great acting in here, and a pretty original story here. But yeah, I enjoyed Tenet. I would probably give this one a 7 out of 10 personally. It's worth watching. It's not as good as the Dark Knight movies. It's definitely not as good as the Dark Knight or the Dark Knight Rises, or, Inception or Memento. I didn't think it was as good as those movies, but I did think it was a little bit better than Dunkirk and Interstellar. This one is pretty much on par with that movie, but it is definitely better than Dunkirk and Batman Begins for my taste. But overall, I would give this movie a 7 out of 10, solid. I would probably watch this one again, and I would probably have to watch this movie again so I can understand it. But anyway, though, that's my review of Tenet. No spoilers in this video here. But yeah, anyway, though, guys, that is about it for this review. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share. Instagram and Twitter links will be in the description down below if you want to follow me on there. Also, be sure to check out my IMDb profile page. The link for that will also be down below in the description of this video as well, to check out what I've been watching recently. Also, if you're new to my channel, or if you're already subscribed, be sure to click the bell to be notified of future videos. A new video every Tuesday and Friday. So anyway, though, guys, that is about it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.